A black woman driving the $65,000 luxury sedan at midnight stolen vehicle has to be. Officer Brian Keller snatches the registration from Monica Harris's hand, does not read it, crumples it, throws it onto the shoulder of Interstate 85 out of the vehicle, hands up. She complies, slow movements, palms raised, everything by the book. He grabs her shoulder, slams her against the car door. The impact echoes her coat. Tears on the door handle. This car does not belong to you. His breath hot on her neck. This is a mistake, she says quietly. Sure it is, sweetheart. He wrenches her arm behind her back. The cuffs bite down too tight. Metal-cutting skin. They all say that. He laughs. His partner laughs. She does not resist. Does not argue. Tomorrow morning he will see black robes, his knees will buckle. She states it clearly, calmly, like she has done this 1,000 times before. Officer, this is my vehicle. The registration is valid. I am Judge Monica Harris, Riverton County Superior Court. You can verify my identity. Through dispatch, Keller actually laughs. Not a chuckle. A full laugh, like she just told him the funniest joke he has heard all week. Real creative, he says, shaking. Or Ted? I will give you that. Judge, that is a new one. A second patrol car pulls up, lights flashing. No. Siren Sergeant. Karen Mitchell steps out. Mid-40s, 20 years on the force. She surveys the scene with practiced eyes, takes in. The luxury car, takes in Monica, the expensive coat, the educated diction, the complete lack of panic. You sure about this one? She asked low. Voice thinks Monica cannot hear. I am sure, Keller says. Trust me. Mitchell nods slowly. Buy the book, then document everything, translation, clear, cover your ass, make it stick. Monica watches this exchange, files it away. These two have done this before. They have a system. May I call my husband? Monica asked, measured tone, not pleading, just asking. He is an attorney. You will get your phone call at the station. Keller says, like everyone else. 15 feet behind them. A third officer stands next to his patrol car, Officer Logan Price, 27 years old, 8 months out of the academy. His dash cam is running, has been running since he arrived on scene 3 minutes ago. He says nothing, does not move, just stands there with his hand resting on his belt, his face unreadable in the darkness, but his silence is loud, deafening, almost. Monica notices him, makes brief eye contact. He looks away quickly. Too quickly. She knows that look. Seen it before, moral discomfort, the kind that comes when you know something is wrong, but do not know how to stop it. Mitchell approaches Monica, now shines her flashlight directly in her face, studying her. Ma'am, we are going to need you to come with us to the station. You can sort all this out there. Sort what out? Monica asked. The car is registered to me. The documents are valid. What am I being charged with? Suspicion of operating a stolen vehicle, Keller says. Too confident, too certain, and we will add false impersonation of a public official. While we are at it, he is building a case right here, right now, making it bigger than it needs to be. Monica stops arguing. No point, not here, not now, not with 3 officers and highway traffic rushing past at 70 mph. She will let the morning speak for her. Keller returns to his patrol car, slides into the driver's seat, punches Monica's information into the computer. License number, registration vehicle, identification number. He waits, taps his fingers on the steering wheel. Impatient. The radio crackles to life. Unit 52, this is dispatch, female voice, neutral professional vehicle, North Carolina registration. Charlie Mike, 543 comes back valid to owner. Monica Harris, Brookfield address, clean record. No warrants, no stolen vehicle report on file. You are clear to proceed. Keller stares at the screen. The information does not match what he expected, what he was certain he would find. Mitchell appears at his window, leans down. "What did it come back clean?" Keller says. "But something is still off." Mitchell nods slowly. "Trust your instincts. If it feels wrong, document it, process her. We will sort it at the station in the back of Keller's patrol car." Monica sits behind the partition hands cuffed behind her back. Uncomfortable, the plastic seat. Cold through her coat, she heard the entire radio exchange, every word crystal clear. They know the car is not stolen. Dispatch just confirmed it, but they are continuing anyway. Her jaw tightens. She is not afraid anymore. She is calculating, planning, thinking 3 moves ahead. Keller exits his vehicle, walks to the luxury car with his flashlight, opens the passenger door. Inventory search, legal gray area, but he is doing it anyway. He finds her briefcase on the passenger seat. Leather, expensive embossed initials on the front. MH, he opens it. Court documents, case files, business cards with her name. Letterhead from Riverton County. Superior Court, everything official, everything real. He flips through the papers, quickly sees a case number on one file tab, State v. Keller. His brain does not register it. Keller is a common name, could be anyone. His ego will not let him see what is right in front of him. Mitchell walks up to the passenger window. "Anything?" Keller holds up one of Monica's business cards. She has fake judge credentials. "Professional job. Good quality." Mitchell examines the card, feels the paper between her fingers. Reads the embossed seal book. Her for false impersonation. 2, Mitchell says. Public official impersonation. That is a felony. Monica's voice comes through the partition. Controlled fury now leaking through her professional composure. "Officer Keller, I strongly advise you to verify my identity through the courthouse before you proceed further. This will not end the way you think it will." Keller slams the briefcase shut, returns to the driver's seat. "They all try this," he says to Mitchell. "High-end car, fake credentials. Probably got a lawyer. Boyfriend feeding her lines." Mitchell nods. "Just make sure your report is airtight behind them." Officer Logan. Price shifts his weight foot to foot. He clears his throat, once nervous energy, moral discomfort manifesting. Physically, his dash cam is still recording, has been recording everything, every word, every movement, every violation. Monica sees him in the side mirror, notices his body language, the way he stands apart from the other two, not participating, not stopping it either, but witnessing. She files that away too. Keller starts the engine, pulls on to Interstate 85, heading toward the precinct. Mitchell follows in her patrol car. Price brings up the rear, a convoy of 3 vehicles, lights flashing, no sirens. The 15-minute drive passes in silence. Monica does not speak, does not demand her rights, does not threaten lawsuits. She is playing a longer game than that. She closes her eyes, not sleeping, thinking, every lawyer instinct activated, every strategic calculation running. She knows arguing now is futile, will not change anything. Might make it worse, so she waits, conserves her energy, prepares for the real battle, the one that comes in the mornings. They arrive at the precinct. Keller parks in the sally port. Mitchell pulls in beside him. Price parks last, still silent, still witnessing everything inside. Lieutenant Ronald Blake sits at the booking desk. 52 years old, watch commander for the night shift. He is processing paperwork, multitasking, does not look up when they enter. "You ran her info through the system," Blake asked, routine question. "Asked by rote clean record," Keller says, but the vehicle profile fits the pattern. "We have been seeing luxury car, late night, nervous behavior." Blake signs the form, does not read it, does not review the details, just signs and slides it back across the desk. Book. Her process let day shift, sort it out. That is it. That is simple. One signature. No questions asked, no verification attempted. Monica is fingerprinted and photographed properly. Inventoried, her phone, her purse, her keys, her dignity, all placed in a manila envelope. They lead her to a holding cell. Small concrete, one metal bench, one other occupant, a woman drunk and disorderly. Asleep on the bench, snoring. Monica sits on the opposite end, still wearing her $750 coat, still composed, still thinking. The holding cell door closes, metal on metal. The sound echoes down the corridor. She does not flinch. They allow her one phone call. Standard procedure, she dials from the wall phone in the corridor. Officer supervising, making sure she does not say anything. Problematic, her husband answers on the second ring, Kevin. Harris also an attorney. Corporate law, but he knows the system. Kevin, listen carefully, her voice low, controlled. Do not say anything. Do not come to the station. Do not call anyone. Meet me at the courthouse tomorrow at 8:00 a.m. I will explain everything then. Trust me. Pause on the other end. He wants to ask questions. She can hear it in his breathing. Are you safe? He finally asked. I will be. I love you. She hangs up. Returns to the cell, sits back down on the metal bench. The drunk woman snores. The fluorescent lights buzz. The toilet in the corner. Drips Monica, closes her eyes again. Not defeated, not broken, strategizing, planning, waiting at his desk. Keller completes his arrest report types with confidence. Feels justified, believes he did his job correctly. He uploads his body cam footage to the server, notes in the system. Video equipment, malfunction, audio only available. The video did not malfunction. He turned it off deliberately. Standard practice when you do not want everything recorded, but the audio kept running. He does not know, that does not check. Assumes it is all dead. It is not. His voice is captured, every word, every dismissive laugh, every biased. Assumption he finishes the report, logs out, goes home, sleeps, well, thinks the case is closed, thinks he won. Tomorrow will teach him otherwise. The case file sits on his desk. The paperwork is filed. The system has processed another arrest, another black woman, another expensive car, another assumption proven right in his mind. Except this time he is wrong. Catastrophically wrong. The file will be read, the footage will be reviewed. The truth will surface, but not yet. Not tonight. Tonight he sleeps. Monica does not. 6 hours later. Monica is released from holding a different desk sergeant. Day shift. Unaware of the context. Unaware of everything, charges pending DA review. He says monotone routine, you are free to go. Sign here for your property. She signs, takes her phone, dead battery, takes her purse, her keys, her dignity returning. Piece by piece, she walks out of the precinct, the morning air cold on her face. She did not call Kevin back, did not ask for a ride. She will drive herself. The luxury car is still parked in the impound lot behind the building. They processed it, but did not hold it. No actual evidence of theft. Because there was no theft. She gets in, starts. The engine notices the scrapes on the door handle from the handcuffs from being slammed against the metal. Visible damage, permanent reminder. She does not react, just notes it, evidence, physical evidence of excessive force. The drive home is quiet. Interstate 85, same stretch of highway, 30 minutes in early morning traffic. She arrives at her house in Brookfield colonial style, 2 stories, Kevin's car in the driveway. He did not sleep. Either waited up all night, he opens the door before she reaches it, relief flooding his face, then anger, then confusion. Monica, what the hell happened? You sounded the knot. Now, she says, walks past him into the house. I need to shower, I need to change. Then I will explain everything. She goes upstairs, strips off the coat, the blouse, the pants. Everything smells like holding cell concrete in despair and institutional cleaning solution. She showers hot water as hot as she can stand, washing away the physical residue, the indignity, the violation, but not the anger that stays, fuels her. She dries off, opens her closet, reaches for her judicial robes, black fabric, heavy, authoritative. She lays them on the bed, looks at them. This is armor, this is power returning. She dresses methodically. Each button a reclaiming, each layer a restoration. Kevin waits in the kitchen. Coffee made 2 cups on the counter. He knows better than to push. She will talk when she is ready. She comes downstairs, robes folded over her arm. She pours coffee, takes a sip. Finally looks at him. Last night, Officer Brian Keller arrested me for driving my own car. He claimed it was stolen, dispatch confirmed. It was not. He arrested me anyway, then charged me with impersonating a public official. Kevin's face goes through several expressions. Disbelief, rage, calculation. We sue, he says immediately. Federal civil rights violation. I will have papers filed by no. Her voice firm, final. Not yet, Monica. They falsely arrested you, that is, I know what it is. She sets down her coffee, but I am handling this my way. Meet me at the courthouse at 8:45, main courtroom. You will understand then he studies, she checks her watch. 7:00 a.m. 2 hours until court, until Keller's trial. His excessive force case, the one she has been assigned to for 3 weeks, the one she reviewed yesterday afternoon, the reason she was driving home so late last night, the universe has a sense of irony. She finishes her coffee, gathers her briefcase, the same one Keller rifled through, still containing the same case files, including his. I will see you at the courthouse, she tells Kevin. Kisses his cheek. Trust me. He nods, still confused. But he trusts her. Always has. She drives to the courthouse. Parks in the judge's reserved section. Walks through the side entrance, avoids the main lobby. Does not want to see anyone yet. Does not want to explain. She goes directly to her chambers, locks the door, sits at her desk, opens the case file. State of North Carolina. Brian Keller. She has read it 3 times already. Knows it by heart. Excessive force allegations. 16-year-old kid named Darius Coleman. Traffic stop. That went wrong. Keller's knee on the kid's back. Disproportionate response pattern of behavior. She reads it a 4th time with new eyes, personal eyes, victim eyes, because now she is not just the judge. She is evidence, she is exhibitor in a pattern she did not know she had become. Part of her phone buzzes text from the bailiff courtroom, ready parties arriving. She stands, puts on her robes, checks her reflection in the small mirror on her wall, composed professional. No sign of last night's ordeal, but beneath the robes and the composure and the professional mask. Rage cold. Calculating patient, she is about to walk into that courtroom, about to sit on that bench, about to see the officer who arrested her 10 hours ago, and he has no idea. None. She picks up her gavel, feels the weight of it, the authority, the power. She does not call a lawyer to sue. She does not need one. She is the law. And in 15 minutes, Officer Brian Keller is going to learn what that means. 48 hours earlier, before any of this started, before the arrest, before the cascade. Officer Logan Price stands at attention police. A police academy graduation, his father beside him. First-generation immigrant came from Ireland 30 years ago with nothing built a construction business. Put 3 kids through college, his father grips his shoulder. Pride in his eyes, but something else too concerned. Caution, you became an officer, so people like us would be safe. Yeah, his father's accent still thick after 3 decades. Good, now be the officer we needed when we first came here, not the one we feared. Promise me, Logan promises does not fully understand the weight of those words, yet he will. Same night as Monica's arrest. Logan sits in the precinct locker room, exhausted but wired, cannot sleep, cannot stop thinking about what he witnessed. He pulls out his personal tablet, opens the file. Transfer from his patrol car's dash cam systems department policy. Allows officers to review footage for report. Writing, standard procedure. He watches the luxury car pulled over spotlight activation. Keller approaching his body language. Aggressive assumption already made before any interaction. Monica's hands on the steering wheel, visible compliance textbook documents presented immediately. No fumbling, no delay, no resistance. Keller barely looks, dismisses them, escalates without cause. Logan notices something else, critical. Detail, timestamp shows Keller. Put Monica in handcuffs before dispatch confirmation came back. Protocol violations, you are supposed to wait for clearance before arrest. He did not wait. Logan watches the footage 3 more times. Each viewing confirms what he already knows. This was wrong. Not a mistake, not a judgment call. Wrong. 7. Morning briefing. Logan arrives early, coffee station in the corner. Officers gathering shift change day. Crew replacing night crew. He overhears Keller and Mitchell. Low voices think they are being discreet. They are not. IA might ask questions about last night. Mitchell says, casual tone, like she is discussing the weather. Just routine. Follow up on arrests, let the mask, Keller pause. Creamer into his coffee stirred. I followed procedure. She matched the profile. We have been trained to watch for, right? Mitchell nods. Just be specific in your wording. When you document furtive movements, suspicious behavior, you know. The drill. Logan freezes cup halfway to his mouth. He is listening to them. Coordinate a story workshop, their language, cover their asses. They have done this before, this is practiced. Systematic. His father's words echo in his head. Be the officer we needed, not the one we feared. Logan dumps his coffee. Untouched, walks out of the briefing room, goes to his patrol car, sits in the driver's seat. Hands on the steering wheel, mirroring Monica's position last night. Without realizing it, student loan payment notice on his dashboard. $800 due, his paycheck. Barely covers it, plus rent, plus his parents. Medical bills, his father's back surgery last year. Still paying that off. He needs this job, desperately. 8 months in, still probationary. They can fire him without cause, without recourse, but his father's voice will not leave his head. Logan starts his car, does not go on patrol, drives to the Internal Affairs office, different building, 3 miles across town, separate from the main precinct. Intentionally isolated, 800 a.m. he parks, sits in the car. Another 10 minutes, debating, calculating, knowing what this might cost. He goes inside. Detective Danielle Lewis sits at her desk. 15 years in internal affairs, seen everything, heard every excuse, every lie, every cover-up, cynical but fair. Tough but just. She looks up when Logan enters, recognizes him. Rookie 8 months, practically still a kid. Officer Price, she says. What can I do for you? Logan does not sit. Stands in her doorway, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, still deciding. I witnessed something last night. He says, traffic stop. Officer Keller, I think there was misconduct. Lewis's expression does not change, but her attention sharpens, you think. Or, you know, I have dashcam footage. Let me see it. Logan hesitates. Can this be anonymous? Lewis leans, back in her chair, studies him, sees the fear, the moral struggle, the career calculations. She has seen it before, officers wanting to do right, but terrified of consequences. I can accept evidence through our anonymous digital Dropbox, she says carefully. Upload the file, include timestamp and location. I will take it from there. Logan nods, pulls out his tablet, uses the office guest Wi-Fi, uploads the file. Types a brief note, traffic stop. 11:00, 43 hours, Interstate 85 mile marker, 52, Officer Keller. Possible misconduct, my conscience cannot let this go. He hits, send the file, uploads, progress bar, 90%, 95, 100, complete. Lewis's computer chimes, new file received. She opens it, watches the video. Her jaw tightens progressively as she watches professional mask slipping. She pauses when Monica's face is visible in the spotlight. Zooms in, recognition flashes across her face. Officer Price, her voice changed sharper, more urgent. Do you know who this woman is? No, ma'am, should I? Lewis stares at him, calculating, deciding how much to say. You will, she says finally. Everyone will. Very soon, she stands, walks to her office door, looks down the hallway. Make sure no one is listening. You did the right thing. Coming to me, this stays confidential. Go back to work. Act normal, say nothing to anyone, understood? Yes, ma'am. Price, she stops him as he is leaving. Your conscience, did you credit? Do not lose that. Logan walks out of internal affairs, gets back in his patrol car, his hands shake as he starts the engine. Adrenaline, fear of relief, all mixed together. He did the right thing. It might cost him everything, but he did it. He drives back to the precinct. Logs in for his shift. Acts normal like Lewis instructed, goes on patrol, responds to calls, writes, tickets, everything routine, but nothing feels routine anymore. Back in her office, Lewis locks the door, plays the footage again, watches Monica's compliance, Keller's aggression, Mitchell's approval, the whole thing documented in perfect digital clarity. She picks up her phone. Direct line to Captain Michael Turner, Mitchell's supervisor. One level up the chain of command. Captain, it is Lewis. We need to talk today before 9. It is urgent. Pause. She can hear him sipping coffee. Morning routine interrupted. How urgent? Career ending urgent, and it involves Judge Monica Harris. Another pause longer. This time I will be there in 20 minutes. Lewis hangs up, opens her case management software, creates a new file, marks it. Priority confidential. She begins documenting timestamps, screenshots, chain of custody for the evidence. She has done this for 15 years, investigated dozens of officers, seen patterns, seen cover UPS, seen the system protect its own, but this one is different. This one has a judge involved, a judge who was arrested hours before presiding over her arresting officer's trial. This one will explode. She makes another call directly to the police chief. Chief Robert Delgado, bypassing the chain warranted by the circumstances, Chief. It is Lewis you need to be in courtroom. 3. This morning at 9 and 2. Do not ask questions. Just be there and bring your phone. You will want to document this. She hangs up before he can respond. In 3 hours, Keller will walk into that courtroom confident, prepared, believing he is just defending himself against one excessive force complaint. He has no idea that the walls are already closing in. That internal affairs is activated, that his captain and chief will be in the gallery, that every action from last night is now evidence. He has no idea what is waiting. The footage is already climbing the chain of command. Keller's home suburban neighborhood. 3-bedroom ranch mortgage, stretching his paycheck, he showers, shaves, puts on his dress uniform, the one for court appearances pressed and clean shoes polished. Everything regulation. His phone buzzes. Text from his lawyer. Peter Vaughan, criminal defense attorney, handles a lot of police cases, knows the system. Judge has not changed, stick to script. She is known for being fair, but thorough professional tone-only Keller texts back while nodding his tie. No problem. Had weird stop last night, though. Woman claimed to be a judge. Can you believe it? Tried everything. He checks himself in the mirror, adjusts his collar ready. Confident, his phone buzzes again. Vaughan responding. What was her name? Keller types one-handed while grabbing his keys. Morrison. I think, no. Wait, oh, Harris, Monica. Harris, whole briefcase full of fake credentials, impressive. Honestly, he hits. Send walks to his car. Does not see Vaughan's response. Because Vaughan does not respond. Just stares at his phone, sits down hard in his office chair. Closes his eyes. He knows that name, knows exactly who Monica Harris is. Has appeared before her twice in the past year, professional fair, but thorough, unforgiving of procedural violations. Vaughan looks at the case file on his desk. State of North Carolina. Brian Keller, trial, starting in 30 minutes. Judge Monica Harris, presiding his client, just arrested his own judge 10 hours before. 10 hours. Trial. Vaughan picks up his phone, thumb hovering over Keller's contact. Should he call, warn him, give him time to prepare? He does not call professional calculation. If he warns Keller now, it might look like obstruction. Better to assess the situation in person. See how bad it really is. He closes his phone, gathers his files, heads to the courthouse. 8:00 a.m. Internal Affairs Office. Lewis's email to Captain Turner. Urgent need immediate hold on Keller. Case hearing, until I brief you. Evidence of serious misconduct night before trial. Recommend your presence in courtroom. Turner reads it, checks his watch. Trial in 45 minutes, calls Lewis immediately. How bad are we talking? Career ending bad, possibly criminal charges, and Captain Judge Harris is presiding. She is the victim. Silence on the other end. Turner processes this. The implications, the exposure, the liability. Jesus Christ. Okay, I will be there. Do not tip him off. Let us see how he handles himself when he figures it out. Already planned on it. Lewis says we need his reaction on record. Consciousness of guilt. Turner hangs up. Grabs his jacket, tells his secretary to clear his morning emergency. Heads to the courthouse. 8. Courthouse main entrance. Keller arrives, parks in the public lot, walks through security. Metal detector badge and gun left in his vehicle. Court protocol. He sees other officers in the hallway. Colleagues there for other cases, other hearings. They nod. Wish him luck. He is not worried. He has a strong defense. He followed training. The kid in his case was resisting everything. By the book, Vaughan arrives 5 minutes later, sees Keller waiting on the bench outside. Courtroom 3, walks over, briefcase in hand, face carefully. Neutral, Brian. He says, that woman you arrested last night. The bailiff opens the courtroom doors. All right, the Honorable Judge. Monica Harris presiding. Keller walks through the doors, still talking to Vaughan, looking down at his notes, not paying attention. The side door opens, the judge's entrance, 3 steps up to the bench. Keller looks up, and stops. Recognition hits not slowly, like a freight train derailing at full speed. Keller's eyes widen, blink, widen again. Brain refusing to accept what he is seeing. The color drains from his face, not pale, ashen grey lips part. No sound comes out. Throat closed. The briefcase slips from his fingers. Hits the floor loud, the thud echoes through the courtroom. Every head turns. His knees unlock liquid joints, gravity pulls wrong. He sways forward, right hand shoots out, slams onto the defense table, gripping the edge knuckles, White holding on like a drowning man. His left hand clutches his chest, shirt fabric bunched in his fist. Cannot breathe. Shallow, rapid gasps. Cold sweat breaks across his forehead. Vaughn grabs his elbow pad, steadying him physically. "Sit down," Vaughn hisses now. Keller collapses into the chair. Not sitting, collapsing. The chair scrapes loud against the floor. Everyone watching now, everyone seeing him fall apart. The bailiff steps forward. Older man experienced scene. "Everything, sir. Are you all right? Do you need medical attention? We can call EMT Keller." Shakes his head violent. Cannot form words, hand still gripping the table. Room still spinning. Monica settles into her chair, takes her time, arranges papers on the bench, straightens her nameplate, adjusts her water glass. Every movement deliberate, controlled. She does not look at him. Yet power move, making him wait, making him suffer. The gallery whispers, low murmur spreading like wildfire. What is wrong with that cop? Why does he look like that? Is he sick in the back row? Captain Michael Turner sits with his phone out, recording Lewis beside him. Also recording both, documenting this moment. This reaction. Evidence for the internal affairs file. Monica finally looks up. Her eyes lock on Keller. 3 full seconds. Unblinking. Cold. He cannot hold her gaze. Looks down, papers on the table blur, his hands trembling. "Visible, counsel," Monica says. Glacier voice, formal. "Does your client require medical assistance? We can recess for 10 minutes if needed." Vaughn stands, one hand still on Keller's shoulder, literally holding him in the chair. "No, Your Honor. We are ready to proceed. I complete lie, but tactical, better than admitting his client is having a breakdown." "Good morning," Monica says to the full courtroom official. "Tone case number 2024 CR 842, State of North Carolina versus Brian Keller. Excessive force allegations stemming from an incident on May the 14th, 2024. Before we begin, I need to make a disclosure to the court." The word disclosure hits Keller like a second punch. His head snaps up. Fresh wave of panic crosses his face. Color draining it again. DA Erica Barnes stands, young, prepared, unaware of the context. "Ready, Your Honor," I said. "I need to make a disclosure first." "Counselor." Monica's voice cuts sharp. "Please be seated." Erica sits confused. Everyone confused except Keller and Vaughn and Turner and Lewis. They know what is coming. Complete silence. Pin drop. Quiet, every eye on Monica. Keller's breathing ragged, audible, almost wheezing. Vaughn leans down, whispers in his ear. "Whatever happens next, do not speak. Do you understand me? Not one word." Keller cannot respond, can only nod. Barely. Monica's hands rest flat on the bench. Steady, no tremor, complete control. The courtroom waits. Breath held, waiting for the bomb to drop. And Monica takes her time. Because she earned this moment, paid for it in handcuffs, in humiliation, and a night in a holding cell, now she owns. Now, it every second, every eye, every outcome. She looks at Keller one more time, sees him falling apart. Sees the realization destroying him from the inside. Good, she thinks. Let him feel it, let him understand what he did, what he is about to lose. Then she begins. Last night at approximately 11:43 p.m. I was stopped by Officer Brian Keller on Interstate 85 at mile marker 52. I was subsequently arrested on suspicion of operating a stolen vehicle and false impersonation of a public official. I was held in custody until this morning and released without charges. Filed, the courtroom erupts, gasps, whispers, shock rippling through every row. Erica Barnes's mouth drops open, literally. She turns to look at Keller, then back at Monica, connecting dots, calculating implications. Vaughn closes his eyes, exhales slowly. He knew it was bad. Did not know. It was this bad. Keller stares at the table. Cannot look up. Cannot move. Frozen, Monica continues, voice steady, professional. No emotion bleeding through North Carolina. Code of Judicial Conduct. Canon 3 requires disclosure of any interaction between a presiding judge and parties appearing before the court that might create an appearance of bias or conflict of interest. I have now made this disclosure fully and completely. Pause. Let it sink in. Let everyone process. I am not recusing myself from this case. Vaughn stands immediately required, has to object, has to try your honor. With all respect, this creates an unavoidable appearance of impropriety. The defendant arrested you 12 hours before trial. This court must recognize, counselor. Monica cuts him off firm, but controlled. Your client arrested me unlawfully 10 hours ago based on racial profiling and explicit violation of procedure. If anything, I am predisposed to be more scrupulously fair to ensure this proceeding is unimpeachable on appeal. My ruling today will be based solely and exclusively on evidence presented in this courtroom. Are we clear? Vaughn calculates, knows arguing further damages his client makes it look like they are afraid of a fair trial. Yes, Your Honor. Good, then let us proceed with opening statements. Prosecution. You may begin. Monica picks up her water glass. Takes a deliberate sip. Hand completely steady. Demonstrating control. Not vengeance, power, not emotion. She is not here for revenge. She is here for justice, and she is going to deliver it by the book, every rule, every procedure, every precedent, which makes it worse for Keller because he cannot claim bias, cannot claim unfairness, cannot appeal on procedural grounds. She is giving him the fair trial he denied her, and that fairness will make his fall so much harder. Erica Barnes approaches the podium, opens her file, finally understanding what she is about to do. This is not just one excessive force case anymore. This is pattern evidence. This is everything, Your Honor. The state will demonstrate that on May 14th, 2024, Officer Brian Keller used excessive force during a routine traffic stop of 16-year-old Darius Coleman. She plays the body cam footage on the courtroom monitor. Different case 6 months ago, but the same pattern visible to everyone watching. Aggressive commands, disproportionate physical response. The kid on the ground, Keller's knee on his back, too much pressure, too long, the kid crying, begging, not resisting. Darius Coleman takes the stand. Still looks 15. Scared but honest. Credible. I was reaching for my registration. Like he asked. Darius says, voice shaking slightly. He yanked my door open, pulled me out. I did not resist. I was terrified. Vaughn cross-examines, does his job. Tries to create reasonable doubt. Officer Keller followed training protocols for a subject showing furtive movements and potential resistance. Correct, I was not resisting. Darius says. Quiet but firm. I was shaking because I was scared. Vaughn argues that Keller made split-second decisions, officer. Safety standard, training, all. The usual defenses. Monica watches, listens, sees the pattern she could not see before because she was not part of it yet. Now she is. She leans forward, interrupts the proceedings. Judicial prerogative, I would like to examine the defendant's pattern of conduct more thoroughly. Prosecution, are you aware of any similar incidents involving Officer Keller? Erica. Hesitates, Your Honor. We have documentation of prior complaints, but they were all dismissed by supervisory review before reaching. I am not asking about complaints that were dismissed. Monica's voice sharp, precise. I am asking about incidents, documented interactions, traffic stops, arrests. Erica understands. We can request those records from the Palms. The back courtroom doors open. Detective Danielle Lewis enters. Walks down the center aisle. Every eye on her, Detective Lewis. Internal Affairs Division, Monica says. Please state your purpose, Your Honor. Internal Affairs received evidence within the last 24 hours of an incident involving Officer Brian Keller that demonstrates a pattern of conduct directly relevant to the charges before this court. I have video evidence, audio recordings, and documentary analysis. Vaughn jumps up, Your Honor. This is highly irregular. We have not been provided discovery on Mum Counselor. This evidence concerns an incident that occurred 10 hours ago, so there has been no time for formal discovery. I will allow it under my discretion as pattern evidence only, and I will grant a short recess after it is played, so the defense can review it. Your objection is noted for the record. Vaughn sits, knows he is trapped. Cannot stop this train. Lewis approaches the prosecution table. Hands Erica a USB drive, dash cam footage from last night's traffic stop timestamp. 2343 hours, the courtroom monitor displays. Logan Price's dashcam footage, the luxury car pulled over spotlight. Keller approaching Lewis narrates for the record subject. Vehicle, luxury sedan, pulled over on Interstate 85 bis driver. Immediately places hands on steering wheel, visible compliance. The footage continues. Monica presenting registration. Keller barely looking. Throwing it on the ground, the aggression, the escalation, the gallery gasps. Some recognize the judge. Their judge being arrested, being humiliated. Keller's aggression, visible spinning. Monica around, excessive force on her arm. The handcuffs too tight. Her gasp of pain. Mitchell arrives, approves, supervises, makes it official. Price visible in the background. Silent, filming, witnessing, Monica speaks from the bench. Clinical tone, detached like she is narrating someone else's trauma. That is me. 10 hours ago, notice the timestamp. Notice I present registration immediately upon request. Notice the registration is valid, visible in the headlight. Beam notice I make no resistant movements whatsoever. The courtroom erupts, whispers, gasp, people turning to each other. Did they just see what they think? They saw. Bailiff calls for order. Takes a minute to restore quiet. Keller's face deep red now, sweating profusely. Looking at Vaughn with desperate eyes. Vaughn will not make eye contact, cannot help him. Nobody can, Your Honor. Lewis continues. Officer Keller's body cam. Video malfunctioned during this stop. However, audio recording continued operating. I have that audio, play it. Monica says the audio feeds through the courtroom speakers. Keller's voice clear, damning people. Like you always think you can drive cars like this, I know exactly what I am looking at. Monica's voice calm, measured officer. This is my vehicle. I am Judge Monica Harris, Riverton County Superior Court. You can verify Keller laughing, dismissive, cruel, sure you are real creative, and I am the president? Mitchell's voice process her fully document. Everything by the book. Keller, again she matches the profile perfectly. Expensive car, late night, black woman. We both know how this works. The audio stops. Silence in the courtroom. Deafening everyone processing what they just heard. The explicit bias, the racial profiling, the conscious decision to arrest, despite evidence. Monica's voice cuts through the silence, cold, controlled fury, barely contained. Officer Keller, what profile was in matching sewing? Keller stands shakily, Vaughn trying to pull him back down. Your Honor, I did not know you were sit down. Monica's voice, not loud, but absolute authority. Command final, You will answer questions when addressed by counsel, not before Keller collapses back into his chair. Vaughn grips his arm, keeping him there. Lewis presents a bound report. Thick official internal affairs, seal your honor. Internal affairs conducted an emergency. Analysis overnight, she details it coldly, professionally. Each fact a nail in the past 18 months, Officer Keller has conducted 12 traffic stops, fitting an identical pattern. 12 stops, luxury vehicles, Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, Tesla. All drivers, black professional appearance. Late evening hours. Resulted in arrest on suspicion of vehicle theft or false documentation. All 9 arrests were subsequently dropped. No charges filed. 0 resulted in disciplinary action. Erica stands finally seeing the full scope. Your Honor, this establishes a clear, documented pattern of racially motivated misconduct and selective enforcement. Lewis continues, additionally. Officer Keller's personnel file shows 4 formal complaints filed in the past 2 years: excessive force racial profiling, falsification of reports, and what happened to those complaints. Detective Monica asks, knows the answer, wants it on record. All 4 were expunged from his record 2 weeks ago by Lieutenant Ronald Blake without proper review committee, process 2, violation of department policy. Who authorized those expungements? Lieutenant Blake, Your Honor. He is currently under investigation for obstruction of internal reviews and supervisory negligence. The gallery erupts again, reporters scrambling for phones. This is bigger than one case. This is systemic. This is the story. Bailiff struggles to maintain order. Monica waits patient. Lets the chaos settle. Naturally, then addresses Keller directly. Officer Keller. You arrested me for false impersonation of a public official. I was driving home from a legal consultation after reviewing case files for court. Do you know which case I was reviewing? Silence. Keller cannot speak physically and able. Monica lifts the case file from her bench, holds it up. Everyone can see it. State of North Carolina versus Brian Keller. Your case, you arrested the judge presiding over your trial for a crime that did not exist using racial profiling. You have practiced systematically for years with a pattern your department covered up. She sets the file down, looks directly at him. I have heard sufficient evidence, Officer Keller. I find you guilty of excessive force in the case of Darius Coleman. The evidence is overwhelming, and your pattern of conduct demonstrates this was not an isolated incident, but standard practice for you. Keller's head drops to the table, a sob, audible, broken. Monica continues, relentless. I am also referring your conduct from last night to the District Attorney for criminal prosecution under 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, and North Carolina Code 14-230, false imprisonment by a law enforcement officer. She is not done. Sergeant Karen Mitchell, you are hereby referred to Internal Affairs for supervisory negligence, enabling misconduct and failure to intervene. Lieutenant Ronald Blake, you will answer to the District Attorney for obstruction of justice and tampering with official records. Final words measured powerful. This courtroom operates on evidence, not assumptions on law, not bias on justice, not prejudice. Officer Brian Keller. You showed me exactly who you are when you thought no one with power was watching today. I am showing you exactly what justice looks like when the system finally holds its own accountable. The gavel falls, single crack, final absolute outside the courthouse. Media swarm cameras, reporters' microphones thrust forward. Questions shouted from every direction. Captain Michael Turner stands at a podium, hastily arranged press conference, damage control, but also accountability. Riverton County Police. Department takes all allegations of misconduct with utmost seriousness. Officer Brian Keller has been suspended without pay. Pending criminal investigation, reporter shouts from the back. Captain, was Judge Harris targeted because she was presiding over Keller's case? Is this retaliation we are investigating whether this incident constitutes witness intimidation and obstruction of justice? If so, federal charges will apply. Another reporter. What about the pattern? Detective Danielle Lewis mentioned with an incidents a comprehensive review of all traffic stops conducted by Officer Keller over the past 3 years is underway. Any victims of misconduct are encouraged to contact Internal Affairs directly. Turner fields more questions. Professionals careful, but the damage is done. The department's reputation shattered. Rebuild will take years, side exit of the courthouse. Logan Price walks to his car, avoiding the media. Head down, Officer Price. He turns, Monica Harris, still in her robes, approaching him. His stomach drops, Your Honor. You were at the scene last night. He nods, cannot speak, terrified of what comes next. I am sorry I did not speak up. Then he says, words tumbling out. I should have stopped it. I just froze. I am so. Monica stops him, hand on his shoulder. But you did not stay frozen. You gave Internal Affairs the evidence that took more courage than speaking up in the moment would have you risked your career, your financial security. Everything. Logan's eyes water. Did not expect this. Expected anger. Blamed termination. My father always told me, he says quietly, to be the officer. People need not the one they fear. I could not let it go. Your father raised you right. The department needs more officers like you, not fewer, remember that. When this gets harder, Monica nods. Yes, your colleagues will resent you. Some will call you things. I will not repeat, but you will sleep at night, and you will build a career you are proud of that matters more. Logan nods, understands. Walks to his car, stands a little. Taller than before, 1 week later, consequences rolling out like dominoes. Officer Brian Keller fired immediately, arrested, federally charged with civil rights violations under Title 18 U.S. Code section, facing 4 to 12 years bail. Set at $60,000, his lawyer argued. He is not a flight risk, prosecutor argued. He is a danger to the community, judge, sided with prosecution. He remains in custody, awaiting trial. The irony not lost on anyone. Sergeant Karen Mitchell suspended. 45 days without pay. Demoted to patrol officer. No supervisory authority. Mandatory bias training. 48 hours, transferred to different precinct. 24-month probationary status. One more complaint and she is done. Lieutenant Ronald Blake given an early retirement option. Quit voluntarily or be fired with cause and lose pension benefits. He chose retirement but loses supervisory permission enhancement. $900 per month, reduction for life. He is 52. That is 324. Zeros in over 30 years, expensive choice. FBI opens pattern and practice investigation into Riverton County Police Department traffic enforcement practices. Civil Rights Division involved consent. Decree possible department under federal oversight reform mandatory. Monica's office 2 weeks after the trial. Late afternoon, the police chief sits across from her desk. Deputy chief. Beside him, both uncomfortable, both here because they have to be. Judge Harris on behalf of the department. I want to personally apologize. Monica cuts him off. Chief, apologies mean nothing without systemic change. Here is what I need. She slides a typed list across the desk. They read it. The list is long, specific, non-negotiable, mandatory bias training for the entire department. Not just remedial preventive. Everyone, no exceptions, revise. Stop and search protocols. Independent review board, civilian oversight. Body camera policy. Overhaul video must remain on malfunctions investigated by third-party auditor at internal staff. Independent Internal Affairs Oversight Board. 3 civilian members, 2 from community advocacy groups, voting power equal to police representatives' quarterly traffic. Stop data published publicly, demographic breakdowns, searchable database, complete transparency. The chief reads face tight, Judge. Some of these require City Council approval, budget allocation. I cannot just then get approval, get budget, or I refer this entire matter to the Department of Justice for consent. Decree proceedings, your choice. The chief pauses, calculating. I will need 6 months to implement. You have 4 written progress reports, monthly delivered to my chambers. I will be monitoring personally. The chief nods. No choice, really? Signs the acknowledgement, leaves. Monica allows herself a small smile. First time in 2 weeks, courthouse hallway. Monica walking to her car, end of a long day. Judge Harris, she turns Darius Coleman, the teenager from the original excessive force case, older now, somehow, or maybe just less scared. I wanted to thank you. Darius says for him, and for me, he holds up a document. You expunged my arrest record. You did nothing wrong, Darius. The record should reflect that. What are you doing now? Community college, criminal justice major. I want to be a lawyer, maybe a prosecutor. Monica smiles, genuine warmth. Good, we need people who understand both sides. Keep my card. Call me if you need a recommendation. Letter. Darius leaves. Monica watches him go. Hope visible in her expression. This is why she does it, not for the convictions, not for the power, for the Darius Colemans, the ones who get second chances, the ones who survive the system and decide to fix it. 3 weeks later, Internal Affairs Office Detective Danielle Lewis reviews an application. Officer Logan Price applying for detective position within Internal Affairs. Youngest applicant in department history, she calls him in for interview tests, him challenges him, asks hard questions. Most officers avoid this division. We are not popular because someone has to do it. Logan says, simple, direct, and I know what it cost to look away. I will not do that again. Lewis smiles. You are hired, probationary detective. 6 months do not make me regret this. Logan nods, serious. I will not. 2 months later, he is handling his own cases, investigating other officers facing their resentment, their hostility, their silent treatment in the locker room. But his father's voice stays with him. Be the officer we needed, he is every day 1 case at a time. Monica is home evening, sitting with Kevin on the couch, glass of wine. Quiet moment. First in a month. Are you okay? He asks. Really okay, not judge, okay. Monica, okay. Long pause, she considers the question. Honest answer. I am tired, bone-tired, angry, still. But okay, we started something. Real systems changing slowly, but it is moving. Kevin takes her hand. What you did, that was not just about you, was it? It was about every person who gets pulled over and knows something is wrong but has no power to stop it. I had power, I had. To use it, there will be pushback appeals, retaliation attempts. I know, but we started something that is enough for today. Final scene. Monica's chambers. Late afternoon, reviewing new case files. Work continues, justice does not stop. Knock on the door. Detective Logan Price now. IA, delivering a report on another officer. Another investigation. Detective Price, Monica says, congratulations on the promotion. Thank you, Your Honor. He hands her the file. Preliminary report on Officer Whitaker. You requested, she takes it. How is the work? Finding your footing, it is hard. Some officers will not talk to me, but I am sleeping at night. Monica smiles. That is the one. Keep doing it well? Logan leaves. Monica returns to her files. The work continues. Will always continue. Justice does not sleep. Neither does she. The scrapes are still on her car door from the handcuffs she kept them. Had the dealership leave them untouched, some reminders are worth keeping.